Thank you so much for being able to talk to me for Right On Digital. And Right On Digital is a digital platform that is connected with the famous Right On magazine that has been around since the 70s. But now that we're digital, um, this article, of course, your interview will be on the website. And
Okay.
what I wanted to ask you first is how did you get involved with CD Baby?
All right. With City Baby, the downtown has bought a company here in South Africa called Share Publishing. So when City Baby wanted to come to this side, they had to do their research and looking for someone who's suitable for the job, meaning that the person who deals with music rights, advising independent artists and all that. So I happen to be that person because I've got experience of 20 years in the music industry and I've been advocating for independent artists from different genres and also have a book that I've released, which is a music guidebook that talks about music rights and business. It has helped a lot of independent musicians who doesn't know their rights. So when Downtown was referred by Share Publishing, um, this is the person that they got for the job.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, why don't you
Yes.
talk a little bit about independent artists over in South Africa? Because I'm in the United States, of course, and we
Mhm.
have quite a few independent artists, but what is it like over there?
All right. It starts. I would say it starts from the talent. We've got artists everywhere, and they are talented. And now, since the technology has evolved, you find out that people have their own backroom studios. And the music as well. It keeps changes each and every time, which means we are getting new genres every now and then, and people are trying these things. So it's easy to build numbers on social media. As I said, that it's all about networking, it's all about numbers. So you find out that most musicians, that's where they start. Some they are coming from the record label, they had contracts that they signed, and then now they are back on their own as independent artists. So you find out even the ones who are recording in the background studios, it's easy for them to mix their music, it's easy for them to master their music, and then they will want to release the music. So we had this thing of physical copies now that we are shifting away from to digital space. So people will even go and make their own CDs, take their music to the radio stations, and then sell the music. And then tomorrow we have a star who made it on his or on her own. You see, so here in South Africa, we have a lot of independent artists, even those who are coming from the schools of music. They come out from the schools and then they start recording their own music.
Are there many recording studios available for these artists to use?
We have a lot of studios. As I said, that if you have tools, some have their own tools, whereby if they have these softwares now that we use for recording, so they will start doing their own music. But we do have recording studios in different places. What is nice in Joburg is a hub for musicians. You find out musicians leave from wherever they stay, and then they will travel to Johannesburg. And when they get to Johannesburg, we've got a studio called Downtown Studios, where they also assist musicians. We've got Empty Studios, which is sponsored by Old Mutual. They've got a studio. So as an artist, you go there and then you book the session that you want. Whenever you are ready, you go there and then you record for free. So we do have studios in different places. Now we've got another studio that is being opened, which is basically going to be focusing on hip hop. It's done by a guy called Osmic, who have a bigger show here of hip hop.
Oh, now would you say that at this point that most of the artists over there enjoy listening to the music from their continent, or would you say that they're still interested in the American artists?
We had a challenge on that because I grew up being influenced by Americans, and we listen to American music a lot. And whenever we start music, we'll start doing rap, we'll start doing hip hop, we'll start doing R&B, and you find out even the radio stations, that's what they are feeding us. But things have changed. Our music now have penetrated the radio stations, have penetrated the TV. Our music is everywhere. If you go even to the nightclubs, you find out that the nightclubs are playing our music. So, and when I'm saying our music, we've got big names, big artists, we've got upcoming artists. So it's always a mix of those. So our music is played now. Our music is listened. Everyone listens to our music. Everyone buys our music. That's what is nice about it.
Oh, that's great. Now, why don't you
Mm.
talk about some of the most popular artists that are out right now? I know one you'll probably mention is Nasty C. Is that correct?
Yes, Nasty C is I keep saying he's an international artist, because once you step out of the country, I give you that respect. So Nasty C has made it. We have AKA, we have Casper Nyovest, we have Black Coffee, we've got Shoma Josie, we've got there's a guy now who's now starting to penetrate Africa. His name is Zayn SA. So we've got a lot of artists now who are there. There's a new genre also that is called Amapiano. It has taken over the industry now. The dance floors, it's Amapiano. Everywhere. So when it comes to music and artists and genres, those are the best that we have.
Oh, that's great. Now, tell me a little bit about yourself. What your background consists of so that the Right on Digital viewers will know what you did prior to getting involved with CD Baby.
All right. Sakele is just this ordinary guy from Port Elizabeth, Eastern Cape here in South Africa. I came to Joburg with a demo as well. I was looking for a record label, but I was introduced on the business side of the music. I joined a CMO that used to handle mechanical royalties. So I got trained there, and then I started dealing with artists on their issues on copyright, on contracts, on collecting their royalties. I actually got an opportunity of paying every artist that was selling CDs and tapes back then in South Africa. So if you are selling a tape or a CD, you would get your money from my hand. So I'm the one who's gonna give you your check. So I worked for that CMO organization, but I got interest on knowing more about record labels. So I shifted from there. I went to work for the biggest record label in South Africa. It used to be called Ghetto Rough, but now it's Motherland. And then from there, I started doing workshops because I realized that most musicians do not know anything about their rights. They do not know where to collect their monies, how to collect their money. So I learned all those things, and then I started doing that. After that, I started doing artist management. I managed some of the big names in South Africa because of it was easy for them to approach me because I knew my story, I knew how to get their monies, I knew how to do their paperwork. So they trusted me. I've worked with the legends in the industry. I've worked with the biggest names, but I never closed the door for the independent artists. I always helped the independent artists, and most of those independent artists they became big. So the name grew, and everyone knew about Sakhele. And then I started writing a book because we did not have an information center where you get all the information. If you want information about CMOs, if you want information about artist management or royalties or anything, we don't have one place where you get all that information. Then I decided that, what, let me write a book, that is going to help these musicians. I wrote the book, and then I started working with arts and culture departments. They will call me in different communities, call their artists, and then I will teach them about the rights. You know, I've there's a lot that I've done. I started partnerships with radio stations where I would give advices on music. I was involved in copyright infringement cases, so up until the whole, almost I'll say the whole country knew about this name, Sakhele, that is always there, is doing this and all that, So I think City Baby also, when they searched about this Sakhele, the interview that I had with them, they were impressed and they knew that this is the right person for the job.
Well, you have a wonderful history, and I enjoy what you're doing for the independent artists. Do you have
Mm.
any advice that you would like to give some of the independent artists that hear us talking on this call?
It's very important for independent artists to know their rights, and I know that everyone wants to own to have ownership of their music, so that they can own their master, they can make money out of their master. So what is more important is for you guys to have information, search for information. I keep saying that the information is out there. Google and YouTube, they will give you all what you need. You just type the question, it gives you the answers, and they need to learn to read as well. And don't just be an artist who's just a vocalist, also try and learn only one instrument, because there's this challenge of most artists, they just come with one hit and then it's over, about them, So it is very wise for them to also learn at least one or two instruments that they can play, so that they can work more in the industry, instead of saying that, no, we had the star, but there's no star anymore. Learn, get to know your rights, understand that this is a career, this is not a hobby, so that tomorrow you can say that I am living my dream from what I love doing, which is music.
Oh, that is wonderful advice. One more piece of advice. How can artists decide whether or not they actually have a hit record?
Um, it's always about numbers, because whatever you are doing, you must understand who are you doing it for. You must always communicate with your audience, or your fans or your followers. City Baby is a tool for that. So I always say that understand your market, know your market, have a way of also making sure that whenever you are doing music, you are not doing music for yourself, because your people, they are the ones who will tell you if this is a hit, this is the big song. And when you go to the radio station, sometimes the radio station plays the music because of knowing how good it is. So if your music is also clean, mixed, and mastered, and you've reached out to understand, that's when you will know if you have a hit, because everyone will ask for that song. So it's good also to do the listening session, because I've noticed that most musicians, they don't even do those listening sessions anymore. They just release the music without having views from other people, and learn to work with the new guys and the old guys who've been in the industry, because that's where you will find your hit, and keep writing music every day. You will never know which one is the hit, but the more you keep writing music and having music for people to listen, that's where you will know that there is a hit somewhere.
Oh, okay. Now, I would like to know, do you have any other business ventures that you would like to mention at this time?
My focus currently is on what I'm doing. I just want to build City Baby throughout Africa, and also push the DIY. As I said, that we have a platform of DIY whereby we teach independent artists on how to do it for themselves, on their own. So that is what I'm mainly focusing on, because this is the biggest opportunity for me, especially coming from out of the continent. I've made my name in many projects that I've done before. So my main focus now is to make sure that I put City Baby on the map.
Oh, that is great. And just
Mm.
so that you know, Right On Digital has an international app which is powered through Chaos. So
Okay.
you will be able to hear your interview on there as well, and as well as some of the other artists that you will work with. So I want to thank you for your time, and we're going to stay in contact with you. And what is your social media handle that you want us to promote?
People can search because it's easy when I say music rights book instead of saying Sakhele Mzalazala. So if they are able to search Sakhele Mzalazala, they can search that. That's where they will find me in all the social media platforms. But at the same time, they can also search at Music Rights Book. Music Rights Book, that's where they will find me as well.
Okay, thank you. And this is for www.rightondigital.com. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. Bye.
Okay, have a great day. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.